What's poppin', beautiful people in YouTube land? I put the 3G value, feel me? This vid right here, these regular guys challenge an NBA player and instantly regretted it. Now, I'm not too sure if this is the vid that surfaced where dudes were trying to play Scalabrini. I'm not too sure, but yeah, niggas thought since he was like role player or trash in the NBA, whatever you want to call it, that he wasn't about to give him buckets. Like, niggas be really thinking like they really nice. The last player on the court, like the 13th man or whatever, 15th man on the bench, last dude on the bench, will kill you, bro. And boy, like, people be getting that messed up, but let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Have you ever watched an NBA game and thought to yourself, you know, under the right circumstances, if I maxed out all of my abilities and put all my efforts into this sport, I think I could play in the league, regardless of how unrealistic.
Maybe back when I was 16.
Had this thought before. We all love the game and we'd all love to play it at the highest level. But for 99.9% of us, this dream will forever remain just that, a dream. Because the gap between most of us and an NBA player is massive. In fact, it could be difficult to understand just how much better the average NBA player is compared to the average Joe. Luckily for us, every once in a while an NBA player will take the time to show us just how much better they really are. A few weeks ago, a high school basketball player challenged Brian Scalabrini, former NBA player and basketball coach, to a game of one-on-one. The kid was so confident that he even bet his own shoes on the game. Now, this kid looks to be a solid 6'2", 6'3", with some good skill and athleticism, probably better than the average high school hooper. On the other hand, Scalabrini is a 43-year-old who's been retired for nearly a decade. But there's levels to this. So on the first possession, the high schooler tries to create space with a little hezzy pull-up and gets blocked. At this point, the game was already over.
Oh, hey!
Can't teach that, bro. Damn, he kill him.
After what probably felt like the longest 5 minutes of the kid's life, Brian Scalabrini
that was only 5 minutes.
11-0. It wasn't even close. Now, I'm sure there's some clips of the kid getting more shots up on Brian, but his friends decided to only include the clips of Brian torching him. Now,
I mean, if he ain't getting no points, he might as well not even show it.
But to really make an example out of the young buck, he got into his bag instead. This isn't even fair. Keep in mind, Brian is a relatively out-of-shape 43-year-old, 9 years removed from the NBA. Brian wasn't even an average NBA player. No offense to the man, but when I tried to search up his stats on Basketball Reference, Brian was so low on the leaderboard that he didn't even come up.
Yeah, that's because, bro, niggas gotta realize, bro, these niggas is just freakishly nice, bro. He's good, bro. And NBA standards, like, he's like in the bottom tier, but like he's still good. Like,
his name literally doesn't appear. So instead, I had to go over to the ESPN archives and dig through hundreds and hundreds of players until I finally found old Brian on the last page of the league leaderboard. Out of 479 players in the NBA that season, Brian ranked 464th. 464th. In fact, in Brian's last season in the NBA, he scored just 32 points. In the season before, he scored just 20. And in the season before that,
better than 2012 season.
In fact, Brian scored less points in his entire 11-year NBA career than James Harden scored last season in the first 45 games of the season.
That's crazy.
In Scal's last season in the NBA, he was worse at scoring the ball than 97% of NBA players. And here he is, 9 years later, shooting hoops in his spare time and still absolutely smoking an above-average hooper. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I like to call perspective. It's something that you need in order to grasp exactly where you stand in the world of sports, and yet it's something that a lot of sports fans lack. We all know that one guy that swears he would have went to the league if he didn't get injured or he got more playing time or if he was 6 inches taller. That's me saying that. I'm that one guy. But all jokes aside, sometimes we just need to get walked by real NBA talent to know exactly how good these guys are. Like in 2017, when a 22-year-old Fred VanVleet went one-on-one against two other hoopers. Now, these other hoopers were far from average. One of them was
college
Marcus
ballers?
Mosley, a guard in the G League. The other hooper was Jordan Poole, who is now a contributing player on the Warriors, but at the time was an 18-year-old fresh out of high school as the 51st top prospect in the entire country. Two elite basketball players, one a professional in the G League, the other a top high school recruit with 5 inches on VanVleet. Both of them far better than everyone at your local gym. Take a wild guess at how these one-on-ones went.
That NBA pro skill. Damn. He's scorching them. Caught
It
him.
went pretty much exactly how you would expect. VanVleet, going half speed, was still on another level. Just look at how easy he gets to his spots. Getting up shots like the defender isn't even there. In a King's Court format, Poole finished with 3, Mosley finished with 7, and VanVleet finished with 19.
Damn.
And didn't even break a sweat in the process. Look at this bucket here. Come on, dog. This man literally isn't even trying. Today, most fans know VanVleet as a killer point guard with a championship and a 54-point performance under his belt. But back in 2017, Fred was hardly a rotational guy for the Raptors, averaging just 8 minutes and 3 points per game. This guy is 6 feet tall on a good day, can hardly get playing time in the league, and here he is completely sleepwalking through 2 elite basketball talents like it's nothing.
That's wild.
And I would like to say that for the most part, NBA players don't even give us average Joes the time of day. Only once in a blue moon do they bring their busy days to a halt to show
somebody playing Kobe.
Just how delusional he is. But far more often, these pros don't even listen to the chatter. Well, all of them but Scalabrine. Brian doesn't just listen to us average Joes, he makes a show about it and proceeds to embarrass our fellow average brethren for the world to see.
That's funny.
Seriously, this was a real thing. This actually happened. In 2013, on a show called The Scallenge, which is pretty much the greatest name for a show in the history of shows.
Yo, I didn't even know the show existed. Now I really want to watch this.
Brian Scalabrine didn't just play random guys one-on-one and take their shoes. This man handpicked contestants via video submissions, brought them onto his own show, created apparel and merchandise for the show, and even had his own sideline crew to call the action.
That's his boys. Damn, that's crazy, bro. You know what's the sad thing about it, bro? Like, NBA players, well, celebs in general, bro. Niggas feed into that narrative, bro. Cause I mean, he was a meme. He was talking about Scalabrine, bro. Like, they were trying to be like, oh, he the best player, this, that, and the third. What is it? The white mamba, all that. Like, he fed into that, bro. Like, he knew that he wasn't like that, but niggas wanted to test him, bro. So this was smart for him to do that. Like,
this is absolute peak all-time pettiness from Scal.
OD.
And I love it. Imagine sending a video to a former NBA player, calling him out on his game and saying you could beat him, and probably assuming you won't actually get picked. And then next thing you know, you're suited up in a gym checking the ball up to a 6'8" NBA champion.
He actually in shape there.
Video submissions were complete satire. But for every guy trying to crack some jokes, there was a hooper who actually felt like he had a chance against Scal. The 3 contestants he chose were Matt Tomaszewski, Rich Morantis, and Jake Fay. Now, Mr. Tomaszewski wasn't your average hooper. Matt was a 6'8" forward who started at Syracuse just a year before this one-on-one. The second challenger, Rich, was actually a really good hooper back in his day, a former D2 player and also a former pro in Australia. The last challenger, Jake Fay, well, Jake is the epitome of an average player who had nothing but what I assume are a few rec league trophies in his submitted video that he literally did drills around. 3 challengers,
not bad,
and a 0% probability that anyone stood a chance.
Matt Tomaszewski, a graduate.
Tomaszewski, that's a name. That last name fire. Tomaszewski.
They're almost identical in physical appearance.
I watched him in warm-ups. He can hit threes all day, but the question
He actually
is,
looked like he had more shape.
Does he have the quickness to take on the Vanilla Godzilla?
Elbows up.
Vanilla Godzilla.
And how about that?
Positioning.
Ooh.
Bing. That's a nice spin move.
And he hits that for 3. Oh, red.
It's an interesting strategy. Hey, Brini, what a contest.
Hey, seriously?
At least he had 3, better than the other dude.
That went about as terrible as I thought it would. Let's see how Jake did.
Where I'm from, I'm called the Great White Hope.
Because I wear hoop earrings.
There ain't gonna be no hope.
Oh, this guy's gonna suck. Oh, okay. Well, that's not
He got
bad.
bounced.
All right.
That's decent.
Wow. I think this guy might be a keeper.
And he got his trophies
All
out.
around the trophies.
Yeah.
The Great Right Hope.
No, it's decent. Good
He about to
athlete.
get crazy.
It's a guy, we're going to pick this guy. I like it. Make sure you bring your trophies. This is the guy we want.
No, he didn't.
He want to take his trophy.
Oh, that's just embarrassing. Oh!
The push off.
There you go.
Ooh, la.
There you go. Go for the dunk, baby. Oh!
He's killing.
Way jumper, it's in.
And it's game. It is the shutout as he predicted, as he wanted. Brian Scalabrine takes out Jake Fay.
Yep, pretty much what I thought. Rich, let's see what you can do.
As much as I would have to guard him, he'd have to guard me.
Oh,
So you have chosen death.
I like the confidence. Damn. Scorch him. Damn, bro, it's just straight post moves. The 3? Again? He didn't score once.
Away with a shutout. What did you take from it?
Damn, I thought he was gonna have at least 2 points.
And after that, I just couldn't get the shot going. Really, it's kind of where it is.
Okay, that was
Hey,
terrible.
a pro
Breaking news,
player.
NBA players, even old, washed-up, retired ones, are way, way, way better than any of us. And I would like to say that after torching these 3 contestants, everyone's ego came back down to earth. But no. Instead, and I'm not joking when I say this, the sideline crew decided to get in on the action and challenge Brian to a game of 3-on-1.
Oh, he's gonna kill him. They don't got. That's his mans, bro. They probably think like they probably know like his little knacks and whatever. Like it's probably his little friends from when they growing up. But yeah, he's gonna kill them, bro.
Yes.
These
3
average size white men.
versus 1 former NBA player. Based on what you've seen so far, how exactly do y'all think this went down?
He's gonna OD. Why they so slow with it? They already messed up like when they had the possession. They was going mad slow. They had 1.
Oh boy. I mean, I would really like to say that these guys put up a decent fight. But yeah. This is what happens when average Joes try to go against an NBA player. In fact, this is what happens when an average hooper, a former D1 player, and even a former overseas guy go
Yeah, that's
against
crazy. I
an
thought he was
NBA.
at least was gonna give him
And the
like
off chance
5.
that you ever get to actually play an elite talent on this level, it's just not gonna go well for you. So shout out to Brian, Fred, and any other NBA player who has taken time to scorch the normal guys, for giving us perspective that we desperately need but often refuse to accept. Let me know
And
in the
Brian
comments
is
below.
fat
And
now
be
too.
honest,
That's crazy.
How well do you think you would do in a game of 1-on-1 against an NBA player?
Oh, I'm getting killed.
Even better, who exactly do you think you would have the best shot at beating? Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until
Nobody.
next time.
Like that, bro. I wouldn't even put myself in that predicament, bro. Like these niggas get paid for that. Like even regardless if they retired or not, like they still got the fundamentals down packed, bro. Like this nigga Scalabrine got a full blown dad body, bro. He's half of the people that he played in better physical shape than he is right now, and he killing them, bro. That's OD. But like I said, bro, like. People be thinking, people be watching basketball and be like, oh, this nigga whack, this da da da, just because he's in an abnormal place where everybody's freakishly gifted. Like, he's gifted in his own self for being in that room of the NBA. So, you know how that goes. But it's your boy G up out here. Peace.